I've read this gospel a number of times, but what stood out to me this time was the very first sentence. It was reported that Jesus was at home. There's so much behind that. At home, we can put our guards down, take our masks off, be ourselves. At home, hopefully, we live with people who know us at our best and at our worst, and yet love us all the same. Amidst the demands of his ministry, Jesus needed a safe place to return, to be loved, to be restored. But notice the crowds that follow him. So many gathered around that there was no longer room for them, not even in front of the door. People sought him out, knowing that it wasn't the physical location that mattered. He was home. With him, they felt safe and loved. And then we read about the primary characters in this story, a paralyzed man carried by 4 others. I imagine those 4 were good friends of the paralyzed man. Who knows what prompted the journey? The paralyzed man's desire with friends who wanted to accompany him, or the desire of the friends themselves. It's hard to watch those we love suffer. I wonder how far they walked, carrying this man. It made me think of the closing line of a Ram Dass poem. We're all just walking each other home. All of those people outside Jesus' home were searching for their sense of home, a sense of belonging and care. And those friends went to great lengths to make sure their friend got there too. While I haven't been physically carried since I was a child, there are so many ways my friends have carried me emotionally through difficult seasons in my life. My husband and I were overwhelmed by the love and support of our community after our 2 boys were born. A friend set up a meal train, and for weeks after each birth, we barely had to cook for ourselves. At the end of exhausting, sleep-deprived days, the doorbell would ring and someone would be there with home-cooked food and, more importantly, love and care. They'd ask the real questions, knowing that underneath the joy and elation of a new child, there are a wide range of emotions that can feel challenging. How are you really doing? Asking, like Aelred of Revo says, to reveal your heart and speak your mind. Say whatever you wish. True friendship does provide a kind of home, a place to take off our masks, our shoulds and expectations, and to acknowledge how we really are, who we really are. And in this gospel, we see that Jesus himself is not only a healer, but a friend. He looks at the paralyzed man and says, "Child, your sins are forgiven." He sees him fully, not just his illness, not just his need to be fixed, but the whole person. And isn't that what friends do, true friends? They remind us of our belovedness. That's why people crowded around his door, because being with Jesus felt like being at home. As Aelred says, here we are, you and I hope that Christ makes a third with us. True friendship always has Christ at the center, making space where we are fully known and fully loved. Jesus is both our friend and our home, the one who carries us and the one to whom we are always being carried. Maybe this week you can take a moment to notice, who has carried you lately? Who have you carried? And how is Jesus, the truest friend, inviting you to rest at home with him?